นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ Today is Friday, 16th March 2018. It is dark moon of the 4th month according to the lunar calendar. Today we have about 18 visitors coming from mostly from Myanmar, and they are both Christians, Buddhists, as well as Muslims. Maybe some of them are downstairs, some of them are up here. So I would like to talk about fasting, which is practiced both in Islam as well as in Buddhism. But before I go to that, I would like to introduce just now Muk just invited me to preach. And this invitation is very interesting. It referred to the time when the Buddha was enlightened. And he was considering whether he should pass away quietly or not. Because the spiritual discovery that he gained was so sublime. Maybe when he starts talking to the people, they may not understand, they may not benefit, so might as well pass away quietly. If it happened like that, then we will have the silent Buddha, Pacceka Buddha. Pacceka Buddha does not teach. Well, in that case, we will not benefit from his teaching at all. Brahma, Sahampati Brahma, read the mind. He read the mind of the Buddha. So he came down, he kneeled and folded his hands and invited the Buddha to preach, comparing people to 4 kinds of lotuses. Some of them are still in the mud, will be eventually eaten up by turtle and by fish. But some of them have already grown above the level of the water, just waiting for the warmth of the sunlight. And that these people, the 4th kind of lotus, compared to these people who have little dust in the eyes, they will benefit from the teaching of the Buddha. And because of that, the Buddha accepted the invitation by Brahma. In return, Brahma also promised that he will become Dharma protector. So therefore, when you see this 4-faced Brahma, particularly in front of Erawan Hotel, you will know why the Buddhist people pay respect to Brahma. Not as a Hindu god, but with gratitude that he was the one who invited the Buddha to preach. So downstairs, as soon as you enter this Uposatha Kara, you will see him sitting downstairs. So you will have to connect, you will understand the connection between the 4-faced Brahma and Buddhism from this invitation. So just like how Brahma invited the Buddha to preach in the olden days, now I invited you to preach. That's what she said, both in Pali as well as in Thai language. Yes, so because we have our friends coming from different religions, I would like to share with you my experience with fasting, understanding of the fasting. One time I was in Malaysia, a Muslim country, and I was so well taken care of by the Muslim community. Simply, I told them that I need to eat when the sun is directly above my head. In Thailand, they considered 18 minutes after 12 because we fast. As monastics, we fast after lunch, we fast up till the morning of the next day. So the word breakfast is very fitting for us monastic because we break the fast. We fasted from lunch up till morning of the next day. So the first meal that we eat is actually the meal that we break our fast. So breakfast is very much Buddhist term, I claim. I claim that breakfast is very much for the Buddhist monastics. I think we have to study in the way back, whether there is anything to do with Christianity, there is anything to do with English language, because this word breakfast is very much Buddhistic in the practice. Now the Muslims, when I say that I break my fast and I take only 2 meals, and after midday I will be fasting until the next morning, they understood right away. Because they also have fasting in their system. They fast the whole month of Ramadan. But this Ramadan is the 13th month. And again, it moves according to the lunar calendar. So sometimes when Ramadan is in summer, it's very, very hard for them to practice because they will not be drinking whole day. They're fasting through the day. Only when dawn in evening comes, only then they can start eating their first meal. Nevertheless, they understood that I was fasting and I need my breakfast at that time and I need my lunch at that time, and I would fast in the afternoon. I was best taken care of when I was attending this conference in Muslim country. At that time, they were fasting. It happened to be the Ramadan when I was visiting them. So just before 12 o'clock, they will send a Buddhist volunteer to come and invited me from the conference venue to go and have my lunch. And the lunch is so well prepared. Actually, it's buffet lunch, but they already take the food and set a small table for me to be by myself. And towards the evening, about 6 o'clock, after the conference, they will send someone from the kitchen to give me a glass of juice. So that was the time when I felt that I was best taken care of as a monastic when I was fasting. And this was from Muslim community. So when in their community they have fasting, they understand what is fast. So they also can take care of other religions, people from other religions who also fast. Whereas if I go somewhere else, they don't know that this is the fasting that we have to follow. Sometimes I have to leave the conference early because the conference, they usually finish at 1 o'clock. So in that case, I have to skip my meal. But my meal is very important, because it's the last meal of the day. So I have to leave the conference room about 15 minutes before 12. And when I came out looking for my lunch, they will say, "Oh, you are hungry, that's why you are early." They have not understood the fasting concept in Buddhism. So as I said, I wanted to share with our Muslim friends who visited our temple today that I felt so grateful to our Muslim friends who took care of me at that particular conference. So the practice among different religions, sometimes one religion understands your practice better than others. And even when I was among the Buddhist culture, among the Buddhist people, I was not well taken care of as much as the Muslim community. So this is one thing that we learn. And as we move along with the three religions together, going to different places, attending different functions, you will learn from each other. The Muslim learns from the Buddhists as well as from the Christians, and the Christians also learn from others. So this, I think, is very good idea of whoever came up with this idea of moving together with three religions. It's the best time that you learn from each other. And I actually had a very good conversation with them this morning. I find both the Muslims as well as the Christians were very interested in what we were discussing on women's role towards religion. But not so much from the Buddhist, maybe I have to say, not so much from the Buddhist. So there is certain wall. How do you say, the glass ceiling, glass ceiling wall that you have not been able to break through in order to reach the other side. So I hope that this group that we have with us today, they will make the best use of the time that they are actually traveling together. They speak the same language because they are from Myanmar. But Myanmar is a very difficult country when it comes to ethnic. You have so many pockets of people, different groups of people by religion and by ethnic groups. So being in Myanmar, unless you are willing to learn, so complicated to understand Myanmar from ethnic point of view, from religious point of view. It is one country that I would say, if we are interested to study about religions, different ethnic groups, Myanmar would be the best country that would really allow you to explore the differences of the people. And if we have open-minded, much to learn, much to learn, and while we are learning from them, we are also spiritually growing up ourselves. So if we understand this, this is the best time for you, the three people from three different religions, to come together as Myanmar people, as the Burmese people. So I feel very, very grateful and thankful for them to visit, and thankful that we build up this connection, so that if we keep this connection alive, I think in the long run we will be benefiting each other. So thank you so much.